Toto, arrête, ne commence pas.
Qu'est-ce que j'ai dit?
Dégage, arrête.
Je peux pas.
Alright guys, what's going on? Megan here. Let me fix the camera, hold on. Uncle tripping.
Tu sais bien que je m'assieds ici.
Toto, arrête. Arrête. Alright guys, this shit almost changed my life. Every fucking video I make, why does it feel like the video's not on me? Yeah, it is. Okay. I say that almost every fucking video, right? But this one really fucking did, right? Now, I stumbled upon this when I first made, oh my fucking goodness, man. It just looks slanted. Alright, good. I stumbled upon this when I first made the video on, what is it fucking called? I don't remember my video titles, man. I changed them bitches so many times to try to get more views on them. But I'm gonna put it right here, right? The video about how, in order for you to put on a pound of muscle a month, your body simply needs to synthesize and retain 3 grams of fucking protein a day, right? Watch that video, right? And it's not bro science. Do the fucking math, right? A pound of muscle is about, I think, 476 grams of muscle. I think. Divide that by 30, that's about 15 grams of muscle a day. So your body has to put on 15 grams of muscle a day for you to put on a pound of muscle a month, right? 15 grams of muscle is roughly about 20% protein. I'm kind of pushing this. It's less than that, but it's about 20% protein. That's how you get to number 3, right? So that's how you realize that if your body can take, synthesize, and keep, because your body can synthesize and break down. If your body can synthesize and keep an additional 3 grams of protein a day, right? 3 grams of protein. Think about the amount of protein that we eat on a daily basis. And I'm talking about like after your body uses what it needs to maintain your muscle mass, all that shit. If we could add 3 more grams, you'll put on a pound of muscle a month, right? Now, now the question was, I went on Batman mode. I was like, wait a minute. We train hard. We lift heavy, right? We go to the gym frequently. You know, we've been lifting for a while. Why is it that we're not putting on that additional 1 pound of muscle a month? If you think about it, that's a lot of fucking muscle. And yet it only takes 3 grams a day, right? 3 grams additional a day after your body maintains everything it needs. I was like, why are we not putting on that kind of muscle mass? How come? Because, I mean, random person watching the video right now, you probably eat, let's say, 100 grams of protein a day, right? Maybe 200 grams of protein a day. Maybe 80 grams of protein a day. And assuming you had a caloric, you know, surplus, even, yeah, a surplus, you still don't put on a pound of pure muscle a month. You probably put on a pound, but probably glycogen, water weight, all that shit. But why is it that nobody, past their noob stage, obviously, past the noob gains, why come nobody's not putting on that consistent 1 pound of muscle when you only need 3 grams of protein a day out of the 200 that we eat? So my brain went on fucking Batman. I was like, I gotta figure this out, right? And finally, months later, you know, I stumbled upon something. Remember fucking Myostatin? Click this video right here. I made a video about Myostatin a long time ago. Everything is coming back now. This is very important to do a lot of research because eventually everything comes back in. Make a long story short, assuming you watch the video, Myostatin is the little fucker that stops muscle growth, right? That's the gene that, I think the MTS gene makes that shit, right? It's encoded by the MTS gene, I think. It's a little fucking protein that goes around and fucks up your muscle gains, right? It stops your body from getting too fucking big. So that told me something. I was like, wait a minute. Myostatin, when you turn it off, you get bigger. When you turn the gene on, you get smaller. So what does that tell you? I mean, obviously you guys saw the studies on Myostatin. The kid that's a Myostatin deficiency, that's like big as fuck at like 4 years old. He's like Chao Su's fucking height. He looks like Tien. You got the rats that scientists decided to go ahead and turn off the Myostatin gene and they fucking had the double muscle effect. You got the cows, the Belgian blue bulls, all that shit that look fucking swole, sensu beans for days. So I started thinking, I was like, wait a minute. So you turn off the gene and people get swole, and you turn it back on and they get smaller. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? If I take a gene, say this is your DNA right here, right? And that's the part, say that's the part that makes Myostatin, right? So say that's the MTS, you know, gene, whatever it's fucking called, and that's the part that makes Myostatin. When you turn this motherfucker off, there's no more Myostatin in your bloodstream, no more Myostatin in your muscle cells, and your muscle just keep growing like fucking crazy, right? So that tells you that prior to this, your body's always growing. You get what I mean? That means your body's always trying to get swole. Your body's always trying to put on muscle. And Myostatin is the one that limits that muscle growth. That's why, mind you, it doesn't say you gotta turn off the Myostatin gene and then turn on the muscle building gene. No. You just turn off Myostatin just by itself, and without increasing your caloric intake, without increasing your protein intake, without even increasing your testosterone levels, the organism puts on a lot of muscle. So that tells you that your body is already trying to get swole. We had it backwards. We always thinking, well, we gotta go to the gym to increase protein synthesis. We gotta go to the gym to get bigger, to get swoller. No, you're not trying to go to the gym to get bigger. You're not eating right and training right to get bigger. You're really doing all that shit to stop getting smaller. It's really what you're doing, because going to the gym releases, training releases, I think it's called myostatin. That's the thing that actually offsets myostatin. So every time you train, you're releasing that counter myostatin, and it knocks myostatin down, allows your body to put on the muscle until myostatin comes back up and starts fucking shit up again. That's to limit you from getting too big, because it's, it leads to energy problems and things like that. Your body's trying to like stay at a relatively small site. So now, how does this help us? Number one, it changes our way of thinking, because now we realize I don't have to force my body to grow. It's already trying to grow. Right? Remember what I said earlier? What we're really trying to do is we're trying to stop myostatin. We're trying to stop the one fucker that limits our muscle growth. Because like I said, if you stop myostatin, you growing regardless of what the fuck you're doing. That little 5-year-old kid that's big as fuck, he's not doing progressive overload, all the shit that we gotta struggle with. He's not increasing his protein intake. The cows, the rats, all these things, they're just normal. They're grazing with the rest of the herd. But yet they're getting bigger simply because that gene is deleted. So that tells you that your body's already trying to expand. All we have to do is find a way to limit that shit. And that's why working out makes you bigger, because when you work out, let me rephrase that. Working out doesn't make you bigger. Working out suppresses myostatin, which lets your body keep doing what it was trying to do in the first place, which is grow. So the key to this is you're not trying to increase protein synthesis. You're trying to limit protein breakdown. And that's the fucker responsible for protein breakdown. So let's say that's why a study came out, I think, two years ago that shocked the world, right? They discovered that protein synthesis was not the only thing related to muscle growth, because they had a lot of people training, and they found out at the end of the studies that the people that had the highest protein synthesis rates did not have the most muscle growth. And they were like, well, what the fuck is this? Protein synthesis is not directly correlated to muscle growth? And this is the reason why. Because if you have an 80% increase in protein synthesis, but then you have a 90% increase in protein breakdown because of myostatin, then you have a negative 10% balance. You're not going to get sore. But yet a guy who has a 20% increase in protein synthesis, which is puny, but has a 5% increase in protein breakdown, is going to get bigger. So that's to show you that it's more about reducing protein breakdown than increasing protein synthesis. And that's where the whole nucleus overload thing also goes. Make sure you watch that video on the nucleus overload. So now the question is, how do we lower myostatin? I already made a video about that. Studies found out that doing high reps, that's the only reason why the nucleus overload thing worked. By pure accident, I told you guys when I was experimenting with it, I was doing extremely high reps during that phase, and I wasn't really growing during that phase. But after it, that's why you gotta take that break. My body blew up. Why? Because they found out that doing extremely high reps, for some reason, I think it flushes out myostatin out of the muscle or something like that, allows the muscle to prime itself for growth. Another reason why Katsu training, occlusion training works so well, even though they're not using heavy weights, is because it lowers myostatin, and they're doing like very high reps with very, very puny weights. So make sure if you're doing nucleus overload, you don't have to worry about this. It's nothing new. Nucleus overload already makes you do high reps and high volume for a short amount of time, and then you go back to doing heavy weights. You don't want to do this your whole fucking life. You also want to lift heavy, because that's the only way you're going to get that bone density that allows you to get bigger. Remember, the bigger bones you have, the bigger and stronger bones, the more your muscles have to grow to accommodate. So don't just do high reps your whole fucking life. And that's why I made so many videos about not just sticking to a 5-rep range and all that shit. Why sometimes you got to make your sets as long as possible. Watch this video, I think right here, where I told you to try to find a way to make some of your sets as long as possible, whether by doing drop sets or supersets. But don't stick to that, because your body's always adapting. You want to keep going back and forth. You know, high reps, high volume during the nucleus overload phase, and then heavy ass weights to get that fucking, everything coming together. So that's a big fucking discovery. You do not have to go home and think, body, how can I make it grow? Just go, I gotta put myostatin down. I gotta stop myostatin from breaking my shit down. And that's also why when astronauts go into space, let me make sure my shit is not off. Okay. That's also why when astronauts go into space, they have a caloric surplus, because obviously everybody knows that, you know, they come back looking like fucking shrimps. They have a caloric surplus, they have all the diet that they need, all the sleep that they need, but every time they come back, they look puny as fuck. Why? Scientists found out that, in fact, when they go into space, because of the lack of gravity, your body thinks that you don't really need those, you know, all this muscle mass, and begins to break away all the fucking muscle tissue. Myostatin goes rampant when you're in space. Rampant. Especially if you're there for a long time, because your body's like, hey, this motherfucker's light, he doesn't need all that muscle. It starts breaking it down, even though they're eating more. See, so it's not about trying to increase your muscle mass, about trying to reduce that protein breakdown. And when they come back to Earth, you guys don't feel the gravity on Earth because you grew up here, right? When they come back to Earth, obviously they feel the change because they're like, oh man, this shit is, it's different. And eventually myostatin goes down and allows the muscle to keep growing, because that's what it's meant to do, to just keep growing, which is amazing, right? Your body's trying to work with you. You just gotta kill myostatin. So that's another reason why if you just take a random guy who's training hard, lifting heavy, doing all that good shit, and you turn off his myostatin gene, it doesn't matter what the fuck he's doing. I mean, if you turn on his myostatin gene or you keep increasing his myostatin levels, it doesn't matter what he's doing, he's not gonna get bigger. So hope this discovery changes the way you see training, nutrition, and all that stuff. And that's also why we were not getting 3 grams of protein every day. It was because eventually you have too much myostatin in your blood. It doesn't matter how much you're eating, your body just breaks it down to the point that you can't even retain 3 grams a day. Alright? So I want to keep doing studies on myostatin because it's relatively new. There's not a lot of textbooks on it, whatever. I'm going to keep doing research on it, but everything is coming back now. Everything makes sense now. Why is it that Nucleus Overload works so well? Why is it that high frequency training and high volume training works so well? Because every time you do high volume training, high reps, whatever, you're lowering down myostatin. So everything makes sense now. So stay tuned for part 2 on this. I'm not gonna tell you guys when it's coming out because I'm still doing research on it. Plus school started, so we'll see. That's it. Thanks for liking and sharing the video. Oh, my uncle, Twitter pilot. Alright, guys. Thanks for buying the t-shirt. Thanks for liking. Thanks for sharing. Team 3DAlpha. I'm out of here.
Yo, come on, son. Anyway, so I was like, yo, Hanzo, let's make a video and show them how we came up with these insiders. And we spent like the last 10 minutes laughing. The first one is you have to chill.